A cat killed me with a flower pot, and 10 seconds later, I became a cat before 2,000 strangers. The first sound in my new life was a boy laughing so hard that he fell from his chair. I stood on a white exam platform beneath a glass dome. That was less impressive because I stood only 20 centimeters tall. Black fur covered my body. My hands were paws. My tail moved without permission. Memories entered my head. My name was Aaron. I was 18. I owed the academy 20 gold. The body I had inherited had trained for 6 years to awaken a combat form. It had expected a wolf. It had received a house cat. The examiner looked down at me. Corvin had silver hair and a smile that belonged on a knife. "Common black cat," he announced. The crystal beside him displayed my result. Corvin read every value slowly. Strength 2, Defense 1, Speed 12, Combat Skills 0. Final class, Cat Shifter. Rank F. The hall exploded with laughter. Students had become bears, hawks, stone apes, and horned wolves that morning. One girl had awakened a silver deer and received applause for 5 minutes. I had become something people kept near a grain store. A tall student walked down from the first row. Drake had awakened a white lion. His family paid the academy 3,000 gold each year. White fur covered his arms. Golden claws left his fingers. "My strength is 68, he said. "Aaron's entire body probably weighs less than my breakfast." The crowd laughed again. I looked at his large head and decided that breakfast was not his problem. The problem was that the head appeared to contain 1 grape. Corvin touched the ranking crystal. My name fell to position 2,000. "Your combat scholarship is cancelled," he said. "Your room will be reassigned. Until the academy removes you, you may stay in the beast dormitory." That was illegal. Every student had 3 days to appeal. Corvin removed my rights in front of the entire academy because he knew an orphan could not challenge him. I did not shout. Anger spent information. Silence collected it. Drake lifted a red leather collar. "The dormitory needs a mascot." He leaned toward me. I bit his finger. Drake screamed. I tasted expensive soap and poor decisions. The laughter changed direction. "He is still a student," a girl said. She stepped from the tamer group. Her name was Leora. She had dark red hair, a worn leather bag, and no reason to help me. She removed the collar from Drake's hand. "If you want a mascot, wear it yourself." The nearest rows became silent. Then someone laughed. Within 3 breaths, half the hall laughed at Drake. His face turned red, but recording crystals covered every wall. He could not strike her without losing rank. Leora carried me away. The beast dormitory stood behind the kitchens. She placed me on a narrow bed and brought water on a plate instead of in a pet bowl. "The transformation should end within 6 hours," she said. Corvin's decision was illegal. I copied the recording number. I pressed 1 claw into her notebook and scratched 3 words. Wait. Watch. Eat. Leora stared at the marks. Then she smiled. "You really are Aaron." She returned with roasted chicken. The skin was brown and crisp. Steam rose from the white meat. Butter covered soft potatoes. A thick sauce smelled of pepper and garlic. I had died before lunch in my old world. Reincarnation had many problems, but this meal was not one of them. Leora explained the academy economy while I ate. F-rank students earned 1 silver a day. 100 silver made 1 gold. My debt would require 2,000 days. Drake would graduate before I could buy good boots. At sunset, Leora left for her own exam. I tested the cat body. Speed 12 was real. I crossed the bed in 1 jump. I climbed stone using gaps too small for fingers. My night vision turned the dark room gray. Strength 2 was almost useless. I could not move a chair. My claws barely scratched leather. 6 hours passed. I remained a cat. At midnight, a calm voice spoke inside my skull. "The soul has completed union with the body. The fixed form law cannot bind a soul born outside this world." 3 hidden paths entered my mind. Perfect Werebeast would raise 1 form to its natural limit. Chimera King required inherited bloodlines. Form Devourer would preserve a monster form through fresh blood. The first path offered a perfect, weak cat. The second required a family. I had inherited only debt. The third broke the oldest rule of the world. Every shifter received one species. It could grow stronger, but it could never become another. Form Devourer offered one simple ability. If my skin touched blood spilled by a monster less than 1 hour earlier, I could preserve its form and one natural trait. I chose Form Devourer. Cold fire entered my bones. I could store one foreign form. I could carry one foreign trait into another form. There was no free strength and no endless reward. Only one broken rule. Something crashed in the kitchen. A cook shouted. Wood broke. Pots hit the floor. Then I smelled blood. 3 horned rats had entered through a drain. Each was as large as a dog. One lay dead with a cleaver in its neck. The second trapped the cook against a table. The third tore open a flour sack. I placed one paw in the dead rat's blood. The world became red. For one breath, I felt 4 heavy legs beneath me. I knew how to drive a horn through flesh. The system told me that the horn rat form had strength 8, defense 4, and speed 7. Its natural trait was a scent range of 30 meters. My strength had risen from 2 to 8 through one wet paw. The living rat saw a small cat. That was its final mistake. I kept the cat shape and pulled the rat's strength into it. Stone cracked beneath my rear paws. I crossed 4 meters before the monster lowered its horn. My shoulder struck its nose. The rat flew into the oven. The iron door closed behind it. The cook stared at me. Flour covered his head and shoulders, making him look like an angry loaf of bread. Cats do not do that. The third rat charged. I jumped onto a hanging pan. Its horn passed below me. I landed on its back and changed only my head. My jaw widened. Yellow fangs grew. I bit the base of its skull. The monster collapsed. Leora arrived with a spear and stopped in the doorway. The cook pointed at me. The mascot happened. She placed a portable appraisal stone on the floor. I touched it while holding the rat trait. The stone announced strength 8, defense 4, and speed 12. I released the trait. The values returned to 2, 1, and 12. I activated it again. Strength 8. The change required less than 1 breath and no external mana. That mattered more than killing 2 rats. A horn rat was weak. A cat able to carry every future trait was a perfect base. Other students entered the kitchen. They saw 3 bodies, the cracked floor, and both measurements. By the time Drake arrived, more than 100 people had copied the result. He stared at the appraisal stone. Rat blood contaminated it. The cook lifted it away from the floor. Then the blood can take the academy exam next year. The kitchen laughed. Drake pointed toward the beast obstacle track outside. Prove it. My lion completed the track in 42 seconds. If a wren finishes in less than 1 minute, I will admit he killed the rats. If he fails, Leora puts the mascot collar on him. I touched Leora's boot, then walked into the yard. 80 students gathered along the rail. 2 recording crystals activated. Corvin appeared behind Drake. The examiner should not have been awake and dressed at that hour. I remembered that. The bell rang. Cat speed carried me over the moving bridge. Rat strength threw me above 6 swinging bags. I reached the wall at 20 seconds and climbed without slowing. The target bell rang at 31. The yard erupted. Students shouted the number. The cook hit a pot with his spoon. Leora covered her mouth, but her eyes shone. Drake grabbed the timing crystal. It is wrong. The crystal repeated the result. 31 seconds. Drake raised one hand to knock me from the rail. I moved rat strength into one rear paw. The paw struck his wrist. His arm crossed his own chest. His body turned. Silk slippers lost contact with stone. Drake fell backward into the animal washing pool. Water rose like a wall. For 1 second, no one spoke. Then the cook shouted, "The mascot wins!" The laughter reached the fighter residence. The archive recording entered the public board before Corvin could stop it. My rank rose from 2,000 to 1,847. Corvin walked onto the track. "A fast pet is still not a fighter," he said. "The score proves only that Catshifter belongs in a tamer's cage." The crowd became quieter. Drake climbed from the pool. "Give him a combat test." Corvin looked at a row of training cages. He chose the only cage covered with an iron curtain. The assistant stepped back. That told me enough. "This iron wolf was captured below the academy," Corvin announced. "It is rank E. Aaron needs only to remain inside the circle for 30 seconds. "The first-year combat rule requires a wooden guardian," Leora said. "Aaron claims unusual strength." He claimed nothing. "Then he may surrender." 80 students watched. Refusing would allow Corvin to erase the obstacle result as incomplete. Accepting placed an F-rank body before a monster with metal skin. I walked into the circle. Corvin smiled and opened the cage. The iron wolf stood 2 meters tall. Black plates covered its back and legs. Its teeth looked like nails taken from a city gate. A silver spike entered the skin behind one ear. It was not a training animal. It was controlled. The wolf left the cage. Corvin started the clock. 30 seconds. The wolf did not look at me. The control spike flashed. It turned toward Leora. She stood beyond the circle beside 12 weak students. The creature charged them. Corvin shouted that the control had failed. He did not stop the clock. I ran. Cat speed carried me across the circle. I pulled rat strength into my rear legs and jumped onto the wolf's neck. My claws could not cut iron plates. The rat's scent showed one soft line behind the left ear, exactly where the silver spike entered. The wolf rolled. I jumped away. Its shoulder struck a stone rail and broke it. Students ran in every direction. Leora remained between the monster and 3 students who had fallen. She raised her spear. The iron wolf opened its jaws. I took the complete horn rat form. My body expanded. A horn grew from my nose. I struck the wolf from the side. Strength 8 did not stop it. The attack moved its head 1 hand width. Leora's spear entered the soft line. The wolf screamed and threw her across the track. The spear remained behind its ear. I returned to cat size before iron jaws closed. I ran beneath the monster, climbed its front leg, and reached the spear handle. The control spike flashed again. The wolf turned toward the fallen Leora. I moved all the rat's strength into one paw. The paw struck the spear. Its point entered deeper. The silver spike broke. The iron wolf froze. For one breath, its eyes became clear. Then it looked toward Corvin. The examiner held the control seal. 80 witnesses saw it. Corvin hit his hand too late. The wounded wolf jumped toward him. Drake transformed into the white lion and tried to block it. His strength was 68, but his wet slippers had become wet human feet during the change. He slipped. The white lion entered the washing pool a second time. The wolf struck the control rail instead of Corvin. Metal collapsed. The broken spear reached its brain. The monster fell. The public clock stopped at 27 seconds. I had survived the test. I had also saved the students Corvin placed in danger. Leora rose with blood on one sleeve. She held up a recording crystal. It showed the control seal inside Corvin's hand. The crowd turned toward him. He stepped back. "The device activated by accident." "Then why did you hide it?" someone shouted. Another student copied the recording, then 10 more. The Academy archive could erase 1 file. It could not erase 80. I touched the blood behind the wolf's ear. Cold metal entered my bones. The iron wolf form had strength 22, defense 16, and speed 18. Its natural trait reduced pain and physical shock by half. The system added 1 sentence. A stronger form was defeated by the host. Archive capacity increased from 1 to 2. My highest strength rose from 8 to 22. My highest defense rose from 4 to 16. My highest speed rose from 12 to 18. The public appraisal crystal recorded all 3. Corvin tried to call them impossible. The oldest assistant took the control seal from him. "Your conduct will be reviewed. I am the examiner. Not during the review." The silver badge left Corvin's coat before the same students who had watched him place me last. Drake climbed from the pool again. The cook raised his pot. The mascot wins twice. The yard exploded with laughter. My ranking rose again. It stopped at 1,204. The Academy paid 1 gold for each horn rat and 8 for the iron wolf. 11 gold entered my hand. I had gained 20 points of maximum strength, 11 gold, and 796 positions in one night. All 3 numbers had witnesses. The cook warmed the remaining chicken with onions. He cut fresh bread, covered it with butter, and poured thick sauce over both pieces. Rain struck the kitchen windows. I pushed 1 gold toward Leora. She pushed it back. "Keep it. You still owe 20. I scratched 1 word into her notebook. 9. She smiled. "Fine. 9. I focused on my human body. Bones stretched. Fur withdrew. Leora turned away and threw a blanket over my head. A warning would be nice. I learned to write with claws only 10 hours ago. My voice sounded human. Then I looked at my hands. 9 fingers had returned. The last ended in a black claw. The system spoke. Human restoration declined from 100% to 99. Something scratched beneath the kitchen floor. A girl whispered through the drain. "Form Devourer, please do not let them find me." The next morning, the entire academy knew that a cat had defeated an iron wolf. By breakfast, the wolf had somehow grown wings in the rumors. The public board showed what had really happened. My name stood at rank 1,204. Corvin's examiner badge showed suspended. Drake's obstacle record stood below mine. Students had copied the second fall into the washing pool more than 900 times. The cook placed a new sign above his door. Black cat breakfast. 3 eggs. Results not guaranteed. I bought 2. My body required more food after storing the iron wolf. A complete wolf transformation needed 6 kilograms of mass. 10 kilograms of food created only 6 kilograms of usable reserve. Large forms had a clear price. If I fought too long, I could become strong enough to break a wall and hungry enough to eat the wall. Leora sat across from me with her notebook. "Did you hear the girl again?" "No. I used the rat scent through my human body. Blood, medicine, and silver came from beneath the kitchen. The trail passed through an old drain sealed with Malric's mark. Dean Malric controlled the laboratories, field exams, and monster storage. The control spike inside the Iron Wolf carried the same mark. We needed evidence before he moved it. I paid 9 gold at the debt counter. The red number beside my name vanished. 2 gold remained. I spent 1 on dried meat and half on a used short sword. I entered the lower tunnels with 50 silver, a large food pack, and 1 tamer. 24 low-ranked students waited near the drain. They had watched the Iron Wolf attack. 3 had been the students behind Leora. Each carried a cheap recording crystal. "Corvin says we imagined the control seal," one boy said. His class formed a round turtle shell over his back. "We want a better recording." Leora looked at me. I looked at 24 witnesses. "Stay behind the shell." The drain led to an iron door. Malric's black seal opened when the Iron Wolf scent touched it. White lamps burned beyond. The first room held empty cages. Each cage had a number instead of a name. The second held surgical tables. The third held academy student files. Corvin had marked orphans and weak classes in red. 100 gold for an F-rank body, 300 for a rare trait, 500 for a student no one would search for. My file lay at the top. Cat shifter, orphan, debt 20 gold, transfer approved after exam. Corvin had not only removed my room, he had prepared to remove me. 24 crystals copied the page. A girl screamed below us. We followed the sound. She lay inside a glass chamber. One arm had white scales. Black feathers covered the other. Her left eye was gold. Her right was blue. Silver chains held every limb. "Yuna," I said. She looked at me. "You heard the drain." Malric entered from a side door. He was a broad man in gray robes. One hand had already become the dark paw of a bear. "Form Devourer," he said. 300 years of research returned inside an F-rank orphan. Release her. Yuna carries 5 stable bloodlines: wolf, hawk, serpent, deer, and salamander. She is the most valuable subject this academy has created. She has a name. Malric looked at the students behind us. "Send them away." Weak lives have no value here. 24 recording lights remained blue. The turtle shifter raised his crystal. Say that again. Malric saw the witnesses. His expression changed. He touched a control seal. Stone doors closed behind us. A guardian stepped from the wall. It was a stone golem 3 meters tall. Red fluid moved behind a plate in its chest. Its arms were thicker than tree trunks. The public appraisal crystal showed strength 42, defense 70, and speed 3. The golem attacked the weakest students. The turtle shifter expanded his shell. The stone fist struck it. Cracks appeared. I became the Iron Wolf. Food reserve vanished. Black plates formed over my back. I hit the golem from the side with strength 22. It moved half a step. The second fist caught me. Pain resistance reduced the shock, but the wall still arrived quickly. Malric watched from behind the chamber. Your forms remain separate, he said. You are only a collection. The golem raised both fists over Leora. I returned to cat form. Small size passed beneath one arm. Wolf speed carried me up its leg. I pulled the horn rat strength into my rear paws and jumped toward the red chest plate. One paw became covered in iron wolf armor. The system allowed only one complete foreign trait, but a partial change required less. My armored paw struck the plate. The first blow cracked it. The second opened a red line. The golem caught me in one hand. Stone fingers closed. I reduced my body into the smallest cat shape. The hand closed on fur instead of bones. Leora threw my short sword. I caught the handle with my teeth. Wolf speed moved through one front leg. The blade entered the crack. Red alchemical fluid sprayed across my body. The golem stopped. The system recognized it as living essence. The stone golem form entered my archive with strength 42, defense 70, and speed 3. Its natural trait compressed living mass into stone armor. My archive capacity rose from 2 forms to 3. Then a second change followed. 3 forms complete the first archive circle. 2 foreign traits may now act together. Stone armor covered my cat back. Wolf speed entered all 4 legs. I became a black stone blur. The laboratory barrier had expected 1 form at a time. It could not read the new body. I crossed the room and broke Yuna's first chain. The golem strength trait entered one paw while armor protected the other. Silver links snapped. Leora removed the remaining chains. Yuna stood on weak legs. Malric backed toward the control door. You believe those recordings matter? The turtle shifter lifted 24 crystals. Yes. Malric released every cage in the laboratory. Controlled creatures filled the corridor. Wolves with insect legs, birds with serpent heads, bodies built from parts that did not belong together. Silver spikes burned in their necks. We did not kill them. Leora used short bond threads to find each spike. I moved as the armored cat. Students formed a shield line and trapped the freed creatures inside empty cages. The recording crystals counted. 3 rescued. 8, 14. At 20, Malric opened the upper doors. The remaining creatures climbed toward the academy yard. He wanted the school to see monsters and forget the laboratory. We followed. Students ran between buildings. Instructors tried to form lines. Controlled creatures attacked only weak classes. Malric stood on the high balcony. "Auron, release them!" he shouted. Then the 24 witnesses emerged from the tunnel beneath him. They carried student files, numbered collars, and recordings of his voice. The academy became silent. The turtle shifter played one sentence. Weak lives have no value here. Every public crystal repeated it. Malric's support score appeared beside his face. It fell from 40% to 12. He struck another control seal. The forest gate opened. An adult griffin rose above the academy. Its golden wings spanned 18 meters. A silver ring cut into one front leg. The appraisal crystal showed strength 84, defense 50, and flight speed 140. The creature turned toward the 24 witnesses. Malric was removing evidence in public because he believed no one could stop him. The griffin folded its wings. I took the stone golem form beneath it. My body rose into black living rock. The claws struck my shoulders. Defense 70 held for 1 second. The griffin lifted me above the yard. At 30 meters, I became a cat. Its claws closed on empty air. I landed on the silver control ring. Stone armor covered my paws. Wolf speed carried me along the griffin's leg. Leora opened a bond thread from below. For one breath, she felt the creature's mind. The spike is behind its left eye. The griffin rolled in the air. Sky and Academy traded places. I held the ring, moved into hornrat form, and drove my horn beneath the spike. The metal shifted. The creature slammed me against a tower. Stone armor broke. Human restoration fell from 99% to 96%. I returned to cat form and climbed again. Below us, Drake transformed into the white lion. I will finish it. He jumped from the balcony and caught one wing. The griffin shook him once. Drake crossed the yard and entered the same washing pool. The cook looked at the recording crystal. 3 baths. The crowd laughed while a rank A monster flew above them. I reached the spike again. Golem strength entered both cat paws. Stone armor formed around my skull. I pulled. The spike came free. Blood covered me. The griffin stopped fighting. Its form entered the archive. Strength, 84. Defense, 50. Flight speed, 140. Its natural trait created wings and perfect air sense within 20 meters. My archive expanded to 4 forms. The wounded creature began to fall. So did I. I chose the Iron Wolf as a base. Stone golem armor covered it. Griffin wings opened from its back. 2 foreign traits joined one stored form. The result was not a wolf, golem, or griffin. It was my first custom body. The public crystal failed to name it. Unknown, black beast, estimated rank B. I caught the griffin and opened 12-meter wings. Air became something I could feel. We stopped 10 meters above the ground. The Academy watched the black beast lower the freed griffin into the yard. No one knew where it had come from. Only Leora looked directly into my gold eyes. She knew. I flew behind the tower, returned to cat form, and entered my uniform. Leora met me with the buttons already open. We walked into the yard as if I had spent the attack hiding under stone. Corvin stepped between us and the council guards. His suspended badge still hung from his coat. Arin carries a forbidden artifact, he shouted. A cat cannot become a rat, wolf, or golem. Search him before he destroys the evidence. 3,000 students had gathered around the yard. The oldest instructor brought a standard detection crystal. I removed my coat, boots, belt, short sword, and empty food pack. The instructors scanned every item. Then they scanned my body. The crystal announced external mana sources, 0. The crowd reacted at once. Corvin checked the result. The crystal is damaged. The instructor gave him a second. It also showed 0. Then the artifact is inside him. That is called a class, Leora said. The lower balconies laughed. Corvin lifted his silver punishment collar. This will prevent activation. Yuna saw the runes. That collar causes pain when the wearer gathers mana. Only if he resists. The crowd heard him. I took the collar. Then I placed it around Corvin's wrist. Show us. The laughter became louder. He pulled his hand away. The oldest instructor replaced it with a harmless measuring band. I became a black cat. The public crystal read my registered values again. Strength 2, Defense 1, Speed 12. Students remembered the first exam. Corvin pointed toward a padded target. Strike it! I moved Golem strength into one front paw. The cat paw touched the target. The stone platform cracked. The crystal showed strength 42. The yard became silent. I released the trait. The result returned to 2. I covered the same paw in golem armor. Defense rose from 1 to 70. The external band remained at 0. No artifact. No borrowed mana. One F-rank cat carrying the strength and defense of forms stored inside its own blood. Corvin stared at the numbers. Unnatural. You sold natural students for 500 gold, the turtle shifter said. He played the laboratory recording. Corvin's payment ledger appeared on every public crystal. It listed 11 ranking corrections for Drake's family, 6 transfers to Malric, and 3,000 gold in hidden payments. Drake stood beside the washing pool. His own name appeared on every second line. "Those payments were academy donations," he said. The ledger opened the private instructions attached to them. Move Drake above scholarship student. Remove Aaron's appeal. Deliver F-rank bodies after examination. The crowd read each instruction aloud. Corvin tried to tear the crystal from the turtle shifter's hand. 24 students lifted 24 copies. The examiner stopped. He had controlled one official archive. He did not control witnesses. The public board changed for 10 minutes. 20 laboratory captives recovered alive. 1 rank A griffin freed. Corvin's payment ledger confirmed. Malric's laboratory sealed. Corvin tried to leave through the west gate. The 24 weak students blocked it. They did not strike him. They read his payments aloud. 100 gold, 300 gold, 500 gold. Each number hit harder than a fist. The academy removed his examiner badge permanently. Guards led him away, while students he had sold watched. Malric escaped into the sealed lower vault before the council could arrest him. The recovered bounty and compensation paid me 500 gold. My savings rose from 50 silver to 500 gold and 50 silver. My rank rose from 1,204 to 300. My maximum defense reached 70. My flight speed reached 140. My public status changed from useless mascot to laboratory rescuer. Every result had witnesses. That evening, the cook made beef stew with onions, mushrooms, red wine, and small potatoes. The broth cooked until it held a spoon upright. Yuna ate 4 bowls. Leora broke warm bread and covered it with butter. For 1 quiet hour, the beast dormitory felt like a home. Then, a capital bounty appeared on every board. Unknown black beast. Forbidden mixed form. Dead only. Reward, 100,000 gold. The silver seal beneath it belonged to Orson, leader of the Silver Order. 100,000 gold could buy 3 streets, a private army, or enough roasted chicken to make my cat form question every moral principle. The bounty divided the city before breakfast. Some people saw a fortune. Others remembered the black beast carrying a wounded griffin instead of killing it. Students wore black ribbons into the tournament arena. Merchants sold small winged cat toys for 2 silver each. The cook changed his sign again. Black beast breakfast, 6 sausages, no hunters. I bought one. Leora sat across from me. "You were the black beast." It was not a question. "Yes." "Can anyone else join forms?" "No." "Can you always turn back?" I looked at the stone patch remaining beneath my shirt. "Not quickly." Leora placed her hand over it. "Then do not transform alone." I could have told her the danger was too great. That would have been true. It would also have been useless. She had stood before an iron wolf when 12 students needed time to run. "All right." The stone softened beneath her fingers. Yuna watched us from the other side of the table and continued eating. She offered no romantic advice. That was one of her best qualities. The academy tournament began at noon. The winning captain received 10,000 gold. Every member received a capital license. More than 20,000 spectators filled the arena. Orson placed 50 Silver Order hunters around the walls. Their field leader was a girl my age. Senna wore plain silver armor instead of the Order's white coat. A black wolf mark covered one glove. Yuna recognized it through the kitchen crystal. Her family hunted the old werewolf kings, she said. They believe every mixed form becomes a monster. Senna inspected the tournament arena before the gates opened. She found bloodbait beneath the weakest bridge and carried it to Orson. The black beast saved those students, she said. This bait targets them again. Orson did not lower his voice. A monster may protect food before eating it. Then show me one person it attacked. Its existence is the attack. The recording crystals heard both answers. Senna did not trust me. I could smell that when she passed. She also did not accept a verdict without evidence. That made her more useful than a friendly liar. Orson handed her a silver test needle. Every suspected student will be tested after the tournament. The test finds mixed blood. It does not prove identity. My order is proof. Senna looked at his white coat. For one moment, the Hunter family mark beneath her glove became visible. Not to me. The public support score beside Orson fell from 21% to 18% before the tournament began. The crowd had not seen one fight. It had seen the top enemy reject a simple question. Malric stood beside him without control of the Academy laboratory, but he still held the Dean's central seal. The Council could suspend him. Only the Capitol could remove him. Orson wanted the tournament to continue. If the Black Beast appears, he announced, my hunters will kill it. The crowd answered by lifting black ribbons. His support score appeared on the public crystal, 21%. The tournament included 16 teams. Drake led the White Lion group. I led the 24 students from the laboratory rescue. They had painted one white line across each shield. It means we hold, the turtle shifter said. Most lines were not straight. The cook had painted them. The first stage was a banner field. Each team carried one crystal worth 100 points. Captured monster tokens added 10. The 4 highest scores advanced. Elite groups ran toward the tokens. We walked to the center. Shield circle, I said. 24 students formed 3 rings. Leora sent bonded sparrows above the artificial forest. I became a black cat and stood on the turtle shell. The crowd laughed when they saw me. The sound was warm now. Drake attacked first. His White Lion group carried 200 points. 6 wolves rushed our east side. 3 hawks entered from above. Leora felt the hawks through her sparrows. The outer shield ring opened 1 step. The wolves entered. The ring closed. 24 shields hit from both sides. 6 wolves became a pile of surprised fur. I used Griffin air sense without opening wings. The 3 hawks lost lift and landed inside the second ring. The turtle shifter sat on Drake's banner. Our score rose from 100 to 300. The arena erupted. Drake charged into the circle. His strength was 68. My cat's strength was 2. I used wolf speed and ran beneath him. Golem strength entered 1 paw. I struck the back of his front knee. Strength 42 did not overpower the lion. It changed 1 angle. Drake's own weight did the rest. His head entered the shield line. Students lifted together. Air control pushed beneath his chest. The White Lion crossed the arena boundary. An animal washing pool waited beyond the service gate. Drake entered it for the 4th time. The public score took his 5 capture points. The cook stood in the crowd. He has found his class. 20,000 people laughed. Drake returned to human form inside the pool. A silver packet fell from his mane. Tournament guards tested it. The powder was the same reagent used on order weapons. Drake had planned to force my stored forms apart. The council banned him from the remaining stages. His rank fell from 46 to 200. The boy who had placed a mascot collar around my neck climbed from a pool while weak students carried his banner. The first enemy on the ladder had reached the ground. Our team ended the stage in first place with 600 points. The second stage opened 4 stone bridges above an illusion pit. Waves of training monsters attacked. Each creature that crossed removed 1 point. The first wave held horn rats. The second held iron wolves. The third held stone guardians. Malric had chosen every form in my archive. He wanted the Black Beast to appear. I remained a cat. Wolf speed carried messages. Golem strength corrected broken footing. Griffin air sense warned Leora before every attack. Our bridge kept 100 points. At the 7th wave, a red creature climbed from below. It was an ember salamander 8 meters long. Dark plates covered its spine. Each breath turned the air white. The public crystal showed rank C, strength 60. Defense 85. Flame temperature 1,400 degrees. The tournament record called the 7th wave harmless training animals. Malric smiled from the judge platform. The salamander released fire at the weakest bridge. 30 healers stood there. The tournament barrier failed. I became a stone golem and jumped between them and the flame. Defense 70 held for 3 seconds. The remaining heat entered my body. Students pulled the healers away. A salamander charged again. I returned to cat form. Wolf speed carried me beneath its mouth. Golem armor covered my head. Strength 42 closed its lower jaw against its own fire. Smoke left its nose. The crowd shouted. Leora sent a bond thread into the creature for 1 second. The fire gland is below the throat. The salamander struck me with its tail. Pain resistance kept my mind clear. I landed beside the turtle shell, took horn rat form, and drove my horn beneath the throat plate. The creature lifted me. 24 stonebreakers caught my body with shields. They pushed. The horn entered deeper. The fire gland broke. The salamander fell. I touched its blood. Heat entered my chest. The Ember Salamander form had strength 60, defense 85, and speed 25. Its natural trait released flame for 12 seconds before requiring 1 minute to recover. My archive expanded to 5 forms. The second archive circle opened. I could carry 3 foreign traits. 3 traits meant wings, armor, and fire inside 1 base. It also meant 3 animal instincts pressing against 1 human mind. The system warned that a large custom form would reduce human restoration. The arena floor broke before I could answer. Malric's final experiment climbed from the hidden 10th seal. It had a bare body, serpent tails, 4 wings, and transparent armor. Human faces moved beneath its chest plate. A black core replaced its heart. The public crystal failed to find a species. Strength 240, defense 200, flight speed 180, estimated rank S. The creature attacked the weak bridge. It released a black beam. Stone vanished. 30 healers fell toward the real pit. The safety illusion had been removed. Orson's hunters raised silver crossbows. They did not aim at Malric's experiment. They waited for the black beast. Leora released every bonded sparrow. Hundreds of wings filled the arena. The cook threw flour into the rising air. A white cloud covered our bridge. I entered it as a cat. The iron wolf became my base. Golem armor covered its body. Griffin wings opened. Salamander fire filled its jaws. The custom form required 7 kilograms of stored mass. It formed in 2 breaths. When the flower cleared, Aaron had vanished. The black beast spread 12-meter wings beneath the falling students. I caught 12 on my back. Air control held 8. The freed griffin caught 5. Leora guided the last 5 through bonded hawks. All 30 reached the ground alive. The arena screamed one name: Black Beast. The S-rank chimera struck me. Golem armor broke across one side. I crossed the arena and entered a stone wall. It attacked the healers again. I opened salamander flame. Fire met the black beam. My temperature was lower. The beam pushed. Wolf pain resistance held the mind. Golem armor kept the flame open. Griffin wings fed air into it. Separate values joined. The public crystal changed. Unknown custom form. Estimated combat rank S. The wanted monster had reached the same rank as Malric's weapon. Human restoration fell from 96% to 88%. I continued. Fire softened transparent armor. Air control moved the next beam. I reached the chimera's chest and drove 1 claw beneath the black core. The creature caught my neck with 3 arms. The wolf wanted to tear. The salamander wanted to burn everything. The griffin wanted the open sky. The golem wanted silence. Leora's voice reached through the bond thread. Aaron, the core opens every 4th beat. She could not see my human face. She still named me. I waited. 1 beat. 2. 3. Before the 4th, I became a 4-kilogram cat. The chimera's hands closed on empty space. I entered the gap. Golem armor covered 1 paw. Salamander fire covered the claws. Wolf strength drove them forward. The black core broke. The S-rank creature turned into gray dust. I did not touch it. There was no stable blood to preserve. The black beast climbed from the empty shell before 20,000 witnesses. For 3 breaths, no one spoke. Then every black ribbon rose. Orson ordered his hunters to fire. The Stonebreakers moved first. 24 shields formed before me. The rescued healers joined them. Then the other tournament teams. Hundreds of students stood between the Silver Order and the monster. Orson had promised to kill everyone in the way. 5 cities watched him decide. He lowered one hand. The hunters did not fire. Malric tried to leave the judge platform. The public crystal replayed his control command. Protect the core. His seal stood beneath the hidden 10th wave. Students read his support score aloud as it fell. 12%. 6. 1. The final 1% came from an account inside his own office. The city laughed. The Academy Council removed his dean badge. Guards closed around him, but Orson displayed a capital custody order and took him behind the hunter line. Malric had lost his laboratory, academy, and name before the students he called worthless. He still had one powerful protector. The latter had one step left. The tournament council declared our team champion. 10,000 gold entered my account. My savings rose from 500 gold and 50 silver to 10,500 gold and 50 silver. My rank rose from 300 to 1. The custom form received a name, Black Crown. Stable duration, 7 minutes. Estimated rank, S. My status changed from laboratory rescuer to tournament champion. Every number moved before the crowd. The 24 Stonebreakers received 500 gold each from the team fund and entered the national top 500. Their average rank had begun above 1,300. The public board placed both averages together. More important, the Academy Council changed the week class equipment budget from 4 gold per student to 30. The same amount had always been spent on Drake's group. For 24 students, that meant 624 additional gold in armor, food, and healing. 5 days earlier, the Academy had called them bodies worth 100 gold. Now the tournament record called them the line that held before an S-rank monster. That evening, the arena became a dining hall. The cook roasted beef over salamander fire. The outside became dark and crisp, while the center stayed soft. There were garlic potatoes, buttered vegetables, warm bread, and thick onion sauce. Leora brought food behind the damaged bridge. I remained Black Crown. 7 minutes ended half an hour ago, she said. I tried to return. The armor vanished. The wings folded. My body reduced. It stopped at a black cat. The system spoke. Human restoration declined to 81%. Current return failed. Leora knelt and touched her forehead to mine. Arin. I knew the name. I could not find the body that belonged to it. Silver gates closed around the academy. Orson's voice entered every crystal. No one leaves until we find the human hiding inside the black beast. I remained a cat for 3 hours. Leora stayed beside me for all 3. She spoke about the first roasted chicken, the word I scratched into her notebook, and the gold coin she refused. She described my human face, dark hair, gray eyes, a small scar beneath the chin. I remembered every detail. My body still believed the cat was safer. It used less mass. It spent less energy. 5 stronger forms pooled against the human shape, while the cat waited like a simple answer. Leora opened a meat pie. Warm beef and onion filled the room. My human stomach reacted before the cat's. I followed that small difference. Bones lengthened, fur withdrew, paws became hands. After 3 hours and 14 minutes, I returned. The system measured human restoration at 81%. Leora wrapped a blanket around me. I knew food would work. Your voice helped. Mostly food. I did not argue. Outside, Orson built 10 silver testing stations. Every student had to place 1 drop of blood on a moonstone. A normal, single-form shifter created 1 color. Mixed blood created several. The test sounded exact. Yuna touched 1 moonstone with a feather. It finds mixed blood. It does not identify the black beast. Her 5 bloodlines would create the same result as mine. So would every survivor from Malric's laboratory. Orson knew that. He did not want 1 suspect. He wanted every experiment classified as a monster. The testing began before 3,000 students and city recording crystals. The first 100 people produced one color. Drake produced white light from his lion form. His tournament ban remained, but he stood near Orson as if a larger enemy could restore his status. I approached in human form. Senna held the silver needle. State your class. Cat shifter. State the hidden path. Form devourer. The crowd reacted to the name. Orson raised one hand. Forbidden. Senna looked at him. The Capital Archive lists it as extinct. That means the same. No. She cut one finger. My blood touched the moonstone. 5 colors rose. The stone cracked. Students stepped back. Orson pointed at me. There is your black beast. Yuna walked into the yard. Hunters raised crossbows. Senna ordered them to wait. Yuna placed one drop on a second stone. 5 colors appeared. The same 5. 20 laboratory survivors followed her. Every moonstone produced several colors. 7 cracked. 2 exploded. The public board listed 21 black beasts. One suspect was a child with rabbit ears and deer legs. The city laughed. Orson called the test contaminated. Senna lifted Yuna's laboratory record. Your experiments contaminated it. The first part of his hunt ended with Silver Order soldiers sweeping broken moonstones from the yard. Senna approached me after the crowd moved. Your scent matches the black beast. Her sword remained inside its sheath. Then why did you stop the hunters? Identity is not guilt. She placed a map on the ground. The Silver Order archive stood beneath the arena. Malric's funding records were stored there. Orson had ordered them burned before sunset. We entered the lower tunnel with Leora, Yuna, Senna, and 24 stonebreakers. 20 Silver Knights guarded the archive. Their leader carried a destruction seal. Surrender the mixed blood creatures, he told Senna. They are witnesses. They are property. 24 recording crystals captured the answer. Senna drew her sword. Then record me as stolen property, too. The knights attacked. Their enchanted armor gave each strength above 70. The stonebreakers averaged 21. White shields touched. Formation strength reached 110. The first collision moved the students 12 meters, but did not open the line. I took Black Crown. The underground room barely held my wings. Air control removed the knight's footing. Golem paws bent sword blades. One by one, silver soldiers entered empty document cabinets. The turtle shifter closed each door. The battle became a collection process. 5 knights, 10, 15. Senna struck the leader's armor seal. His enchanted frame locked. He fell backward like a silver cupboard. The 20th cabinet closed. The public crystals counted 0 student deaths. The city saw capital soldiers lose to the weak class they came to erase. Inside the archive, Yuna found the funding ledger. The Silver Order paid Malric 30,000 gold each year for 12 years. It delivered 460 monster bodies and 71 prisoners. Orson's seal appeared on every payment. Another record explained the purpose. He wanted mixed-form soldiers controlled through silver commands. Malric's laboratory was not a secret crime hidden from the Order. It was an Order project. Leora sent 6 copies to the city. People outside read the numbers aloud. 30,000, 460, 71. 12 years. Orson could call one witness a liar. He could not call his own seal a rumor. The record spread before he closed the Academy network. One copy reached the Merchant Square. Shopkeepers placed it on 10 private crystals. Students threw paper copies over the wall. Hunter families compared the officer seals with their own archives. Within 20 minutes, 5 cities had the ledger. Orson ordered every copy destroyed. The order became another public document. His support score fell from 18% to 9%. Senna found her father's final report between 2 payment records. He had questioned the experiments 9 years earlier. Mixed blood is not the enemy. A chain around it is. Orson had marked the report as treason. He told Senna that her father died hunting a werewolf. She placed both pages before the recording crystal. He died refusing you, The Black Wolf families removed their white order coats in the city square. 30 hunters walked to the academy gate and stood beside the laboratory survivors. Orson had arrived with an institution. The institution had begun choosing witnesses over him. The change was not a speech. It was 30 armed people crossing one public street while thousands watched which side they selected. The archive vault opened. Malric stepped out wearing a living dragon heart across his chest. Black vessels entered his ribs. Dragon scale covered both arms. Decay around his left eye disappeared. The appraisal crystal showed strength 200, defense 180, and flame temperature 3,000 degrees. Estimated rank S. Malric looked at the values and laughed. I spent 30 years building this power, he said. You gained yours by touching a rat. His anger was not about one choice I had made. It was about luck. Malric believed years of pain created ownership. If the world gave another person a better answer, he believed that person had stolen it. Release the heart, I said. Power belongs to whoever can hold it. Then let the public measure your grip. 24 recording crystals remained active. Malric attacked. One dragon-scaled fist struck Black Crown. Defense 70 failed. I crossed the archive, broke through the silver gate, and entered the arena tunnel. He followed. We reached the central yard before 3,000 witnesses. Dragonflame crossed the academy. I opened salamander fire and air control together. My weaker flame did not stop his. It changed the direction. The blast passed above the dormitory. Malric caught one wing and threw me into the public board. You are a pile of stolen animals. I became a cat inside his grip. His fist closed on empty air. I ran beneath him, used golem strength in one paw, and struck the black vessels behind his knee. The dragon heart rejected him every third beat. 1, 2, 3. The vessels opened. My armored claw tore one free. His strength fell from 200 to 170. The public board showed the number. Students shouted it. 170. Malric released pressure and drove me into the arena floor. Yuna landed beside him on mismatched wings. The left shoulder opens next. The heart beat 3 times. Leora guided the freed griffin above us. Senna threw a silver chain around the exposed vessels. 24 stonebreakers pulled. I took Black Crown and opened salamander flame around the knot. The vessels tore. Malric's defense fell to 120. The crowd counted again. He looked toward Orson. Activate the second heart. Orson stood on the arena wall. He did nothing. You were a field test, he said. 3,000 witnesses heard him abandon another servant. Corvin had looked the same when Malric ignored him. The latter worked in one direction. Malric began shouting order vault numbers, payment dates, and officer names. He did not confess from regret. He spoke because the man above him had treated him like a failed experiment. His confession remained useful. I became a cat beneath his final strike. Wolf speed carried me up his back. Golem strength entered both paws. I tore the last vessels from his neck. The dragon heart detached. Yuna opened the clamps with stormlight. Senna caught the organ inside a silver chain. The freed griffin carried it into the sky. Malric returned to a human body. The public crystal measured strength 9, defense 7, rank F. The city read the result. Then it laughed. The former S-rank dean stood in the crater wearing half a robe. The same students he called worthless watched guards close a glass cell around him. My public reward for the archive and S-rank defense reached 50,000 gold. My savings rose to 60,500 gold and 50 silver. Black Crown stable duration rose from 7 minutes to 12. My national status changed from tournament champion to city guardian. The city council transferred 60,000 gold in laboratory assets to Yuna and the survivors. Power, money, and reputation moved together. The cook brought food into the damaged arena. He roasted lamb over open coals. The edges became dark and crisp. Hot juice entered flat bread with tomatoes, onions, and green herbs. Leora sat beside me on the crater edge. Black scales remained across my ribs after returning. Restoration? She asked. 78%. Yesterday it was 81. Yesterday I did not fight a man wearing a dragon heart. She did not smile. The ground shook. 7 silver towers around the city activated. White chains entered the academy vault. Orson stood above the central tower holding a black vial. The first king's blood waited 300 years, he announced. The order will prove why mixed forms must die. He poured the blood into the control core. The arena floor opened. A black dragon rose beneath us. Its wings covered half the academy. Silver stakes entered its spine. White chains forced its head toward the city. The appraisal crystal showed strength 500, defense 600, flight speed 200, and flame temperature 5,000 degrees. The dragon did not want to attack. Its body obeyed Orson. "Break the towers," I shouted. The Stonebreakers divided into 7 groups. Students, merchants, instructors, and former hunters joined them. The dragon released fire toward the south gate. I took Black Crown and pushed the flame upward with air control. The blast burned through the clouds instead of the crowd. Human restoration fell to 69. The first tower broke. 1 chain vanished. The public board counted 6 remaining. The dragon gained control of 1 wing. The second tower fell. Then the third. Orson opened capital gates between towers, escaping every group before it reached him. Senna led hunter families against the 4th. Yuna broke the 5th with Stormlight. The Stonebreakers and 500 citizens pulled the 6th down with ropes. 1 chain remained. Orson stood on the final tower with a silver blade against Leora's throat. "Take the dragon blood now," he called. "The chain will enter your archive. Refuse, and your anchor dies." I became a black cat. Griffin air control lifted the small body. Wolf speed turned me into a line too small for hunters to target. Leora opened a bond thread into Orson's wrist. She felt his attack before it began and moved toward the blade instead of away. The unexpected motion stopped him for 1 moment. I reached the tower. Golem strength entered 1 paw. The silver blade crossed the city and entered my bounty board. 100,000 gold split down the center. Senna drove her broken sword into the control core. The final tower fell. All chains vanished. The dragon became still. It lowered its head before the city. Fresh blood moved from a wound beneath 1 stake. "Choose," the dragon said inside my mind. I touched it. The 6th foreign form entered my archive. Dragon strength, 500. Dragon defense, 600. Dragon flame, 5,000 degrees. The complete body required 4,000 kilograms of mass. I could not use it. Its natural trait was a living dragon heart able to power 4 traits at once. Black Crown changed. Golem armor became dragon scale. Griffin wings grew stronger. Salamander fire became black dragon flame. The Iron Wolf remained the base. The public crystal evaluated the result. Unknown sovereign form. Estimated rank above S. I named it Eclipse Crown. Orson escaped through a capital gate before the dragonfire reached him. The city recorded him running. My power had risen beyond S. My human restoration fell to 36%. Dragon instinct filled the new heart. Buildings became small. Humans became brief movements beneath my claws. The name Aaron sounded familiar, but I could not remember why. Leora climbed the broken tower and stood before Eclipse Crown. "Aaron," she said. I looked down at the small human. I did not know who Aaron was. Leora touched my nose. Dragon instinct told me that 1 movement could crush her. Wolf instinct recognized her scent. Cat instinct remembered warm food. The name still meant nothing. She opened the bond thread. It entered all 6 foreign forms at once. Pain crossed her face. A human mind was not built to hold a rat, wolf, golem, griffin, salamander, and dragon together. Leora held the connection. Memories entered me from her side. I saw a black kitten on the exam platform. I felt his weight when she carried him from the laughing crowd. I saw 3 scratched words in a notebook. Wait, watch, eat. I smelled roasted chicken, wolf stew, meat pies, and lamb beside the arena crater. I saw a human boy counting 3 gold twice. I saw him step between Yuna and Corvin. I saw a black crown rise beneath falling students. In every memory, Leora looked toward the same person. Me. The name returned. Aaron. More memories followed. Drake's finger between my teeth. The Iron Wolf control spike. 24 shields touching inside the archive. The exact sound of students reading Malric's strength as it fell. None belonged to a monster shape. They belonged to choices. The system had treated humanity as the empty state between transformations. That had been wrong. The human form carried patience, restraint, plans, promises, and every return made despite pain. I chose it as my primary anchor. The system recognized the decision. Human form designated as the primary shape. Restoration increased from 36% to 52%. Human form may hold 4 traits. Eclipse crown collapsed inward. Dragon scales opened. Griffin wings folded. Wolf fur vanished. I became human on the broken tower. Black scales remained across half my chest. My eyes stayed gold. The city shouted my name. For the first time, people looked directly at the black beast while shouting it. The secret ended. Orson's capital gate opened above us. He entered wearing white armor burned black along one side. A silver spear carried the power of every tower still active near the capital. The point moved toward Leora. I caught it with one scaled hand. Aran is the black beast, Orson announced. He confessed to saving the city, Senna replied. She climbed onto the tower beside Yuna. The stonebreakers filled the square below. The cook raised a pot. He also owes me for 3 broken kitchens. The crowd laughed at Orson before the final fight began. His face became still. Every public crystal displayed the capital warrant. 100,000 gold. Dead only. The accusation listed forbidden blood, destruction of order towers, release of a dragon, and resistance to lawful execution. Senna placed Orson's tower command beside it. Malric's confession appeared next. Then the funding ledger. Then the first exam recording, the controlled Iron Wolf, the laboratory files, the tournament, and the dragon chains. 5 cities opened a public judgment. 1 million people received 2 choices: Guardian, Monster. Orson tried to close the network. Merchant crystals carried it around his seal. At 10%, Guardian held 98. At half, it held 99. At completion, 990,000 people chose Guardian. 10,000 chose Monster. 7,000 of those votes came from order offices. The result appeared above Orson. Guardian, 99%. Monster, 1. The man who controlled the law received 1% before the entire country. Law is not a popularity contest, he said. Then face the evidence, Senna answered. I am the law. That was his motive. Corvin wanted money. Drake wanted rank. Malric wanted recognition for his work. Orson wanted control. He believed the Order had prevented another war for 300 years. Every cage, death, and lie became acceptable because he imagined the world without his command. He did not see people making choices. He saw disasters waiting for permission. Orson opened 12 capital gates. 200 silver knights entered the city. 7 portable tower cores followed on iron wagons. Execute Aaron, Yuna, and every laboratory survivor, he ordered. Arrest Senna for treason. The knights looked at the public result. 100 lowered their weapons. 30 stepped beside Senna. 70 obeyed Orson. The ladder broke beneath him. Orson activated the 7 cores directly. Silver armor spread across his body. 4 white wings opened. A crown of light formed above his head. The appraisal crystal measured him. Strength, 300. Defense, 500. Flight speed, 250. Silver suppression, maximum. Estimated rank, S. I do not require servants. He rose. The 70 loyal knights attacked the crowd. The Stonebreakers met them. The first collision pushed the student line 12 meters. Tournament shields split. The Turtle Shifter planted his cracked shell at the center. Former rival teams locked arms behind him. Merchant guards used wagon doors where shields failed. Average knight strength was 72. Average student strength was 21. When every shield touched, formation strength reached 110. The knight line stopped. Weak values created one strong result without a hidden class. Senna led former hunters toward the first portable core. Yuna carried laboratory survivors beyond the square. Leora remained near the dragon and linked every bonded bird in the city. I faced Orson in human form. Dragon heart, golem armor, griffin air control, wolf speed. 4 traits entered one human body. Black scales covered my arms. Air moved beneath my feet. The living heart beat once. I crossed the sky. Orson's silver fist met mine. The impact broke windows across 3 streets. Dragon defense reached 600. Silver suppression reduced it by half. His second strike entered my ribs. Human restoration fell from 52 to 49. I answered with dragon fire. 5,000 degrees covered his armor. Silver remained white. The portable cores repaired every damaged section. "Your forms end," Orson said. "The order remains." Below us, Senna broke the first core. His left wing disappeared. The city shouted. The Turtle Shifter reached the second wagon. Loyal knights surrounded him. The Stonebreakers formed a ring, lifted the core together, and dropped it into the washing pool. Silver light exploded. Drake watched from the prisoner line. The cook pointed at the pool. "It accepts every enemy." Even Senna laughed. The second core failed. Orson's defense fell from 500 to 400. The public crystal displayed the number. He attacked Leora. I took Eclipse Crown in 2 breaths. The sovereign form filled the sky. Dragon scale, griffin wings, wolf jaws, and the living heart joined beneath black fire. Silver chains wrapped around the larger body. Orson had prepared them for Black Crown. "Predictable," he said. The chains pulled toward 5 remaining cores. I became a cat. 4 kilograms fell through the center. The chains closed on empty air and struck each other. The cat landed on Orson's crown. Golem strength entered one paw. Dragonfire covered the claws. I broke the central rune. His crown split. Defense fell to 300. 20,000 people laughed at the same small cat that had stood last on the exam platform. Orson tried to catch me. Wolf speed carried the cat body along one silver wing. At the end, I became human and pulled. The wing tore away. Orson fell toward the square. He opened a capital gate below himself. Senna threw her broken sword. It entered the gate frame. The portal failed. Orson struck the ruined arena. He rose in damaged armor. "The first king destroyed 6 cities," he said. "My ancestor stopped him." The freed dragon lowered its head over the academy wall. Its ancient voice entered every mind. "Your ancestor chained me and used my heart to control forms." Orson looked up. For 300 years, the Order had spoken for history. History had answered. The remaining loyal knights lowered their weapons. Public support for Orson reached 0. He activated the final 5 cores at once. Silver light burned through his skin. Strength rose to 400. Defense rose to 700. His life estimate fell to 3 minutes. Orson no longer expected to rule. He wanted my anchor to die before him. He attacked Leora one final time. I used human form. Wolf speed reached her first. Golem armor covered my back. Dragon defense entered beneath it. His fist struck. 700 defense met 400 strength. I did not move. Orson's arm broke. The public crystal displayed both numbers. The person he called unstable had protected a human body with 4 chosen traits. I caught the final control lines inside his chest. Dragonfire did not attack the silver. It melted the flesh holding it. Senna cut the exposed wires. Yuna pulled the core free with her scaled arm. Leora turned the bonded horses and dragged it away. Orson's armor vanished. He stood in a white undershirt before the entire city. The appraisal crystal measured strength 12, defense 10, rank F, 1 point above Malric. Malric laughed from his glass cell. Orson looked toward him. The former dean lifted both restrained hands and applauded. One person clapped. Then the city joined. Orson had arrived with 200 knights, 12 gates, 7 cores, 100,000 gold, and 300 years of authority. He left the crater with 1 undershirt and an F rank. Senna arrested him beneath the public judgment. The National Council could not ignore 1 million votes, a living dragon, the payment ledger, and 2 confessions. It suspended the Silver Order pending trial. The bounty was revoked. The same 100,000 gold became compensation for unlawful pursuit. My savings rose from 60,500 gold and 50 silver to 160,500 gold and 50 silver. Eclipse Crown's stable duration rose from 12 minutes to 18. Human restoration settled at 49%. The National Board offered 1 title, King of Forms. I rejected it. The board changed the title to Free Shifter. That one remained. The National Network placed 2 recordings beside the title. The first showed a black kitten on the exam platform, Strength 2, Defense 1, Rank 2000. The second showed a human body stopping Orson's final strike with dragon scale beneath the skin. Defense 700, National Rank S. 5 days separated the images. Students copied them onto academy boards across the country. F-rank classes that had never received combat training demanded new evaluations. Within 1 hour, 19 academies agreed to test internal traits instead of judging only the first visible form. The cook claimed his breakfast had caused the reform. No one could prove otherwise. My city approval remained 100%. Orson's remained 0. The number stayed above the courtroom entrance when guards led him inside. The dragon used its living heart to disable every silver command linked to the academy. Across the country, the fixed form law stopped being a prison. No one received unlimited power. Each shifter kept the first form and could slowly awaken natural traits through training. Mixed forms became difficult instead of illegal. The basic rule I had broken alone could no longer be used to cage others. Yuna's rejection pain fell by half when the silver commands disappeared. Her 5 bloodlines remained difficult, but they belonged to her. Senna accepted leadership of a new hunter guard with 1 rule. It investigated actions, not species. Corvin and Malric entered a public trial. Drake received a choice from the Academy Council: expulsion or 1-year training students with F-rank forms. He chose the year. His first student had a field mouse form with strength 1. The public board placed their names together. No one needed to add a joke. The 24 Stonebreakers kept their name after several unlocked stronger traits. The Turtle Shifter said the human shield line had taught him what his shell was for. We used 100,000 gold from seized laboratory assets to rebuild the old laboratory as a sanctuary. 200,000 entered a public treatment fund. That evening, the Beast dormitory still had 3 walls and half a roof. The kitchen survived. The cook roasted lamb until the outside became dark and crisp. Garlic, salt, and green herbs covered the meat. Thick bread warmed beside the coals. Bowls held tomatoes, onions, rice with butter, and deep brown sauce. Former captives sat beside former hunters. Tournament rivals ate beside the Stonebreakers. Senna accepted a bowl without examining it first. Yuna lifted her cup with 1 feathered hand. To choosing. The yard answered. Leora sat beside me beneath a broken window. My human form returned in 10 seconds. Black scales remained under my shirt. When I became tired, 2 cat ears appeared in my hair. Human restoration remained at 49%. The price stayed. So did the anchor. Leora touched 1 black ear. This may damage your serious reputation. My serious reputation began in a washing pool. That was Drake. I was nearby. She laughed. I opened her old notebook. The first scratches remained. Weight, watch, eat. I added one word, return. Then I kissed her. It was brief, warm, and interrupted by the cook shouting that the lamb was becoming cold. Power, resources, and status had reached numbers I could not have imagined on the exam platform. The important result sat beside me and ate warm bread. A small black cat walked across the broken wall. It looked exactly like the animal that had dropped a flower pot on me in my old world. The cat sat before my plate. I placed one piece of lamb beside it. It ate the meat, cleaned one paw, and looked into my eyes. Then it spoke in a human voice. "You took long enough, my king.